The inevitable has finally happened. I've hit my first major roadblock in the revision process of my novel. And I knew this was going to happen. It's fine, but it is still discouraging. Welcome back to another writing vlog. My name is Josie, and I am currently revising my mountaineering revenge thriller novel. And we are fully past the midpoint at this point, really just working through the second half of Act 2. So how do we get to this standstill? Well, I think that there is actually a lot of things that kind of compounded all at once. It's been a really tough start to 2025 for me, and I'm not going to go into personal details on the internet, but I think it's important to bring up because I felt that it's been one thing after another, and I've been trying for so long to stay ahead of it. And I feel like in the last week, it's really caught up to me. And all the things that I've been trying to push back have come to the forefront. When I get upset and stressed, my first inclination is to work as hard as I can, get my mind off it, get through it. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And so what was happening was I was pouring a lot of time into other parts of my life, and I was trying to fit in the writing wherever I could, like 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there. And then this weekend, I went away for a volunteering event that I do every year associated with my grad program. We go and help out with a high school science competition in Seward. And it was, don't get me wrong, it was incredibly beautiful. I was very happy to be there. When I wasn't volunteering, I was able to go walk along the beautiful beaches and spend some time outside, and it felt so warm in comparison to home. But I got absolutely nothing done because I just felt like every evening, super early, like around 7 p.m., I was completely exhausted. And now that I'm back home and starting to get back into the swing of things again, I'm still just finding it really hard to get the motivation to revise. My first instinct was to try and do like a reset or something. Block off time every day for the next week to focus on writing and trying to get back into it. But I think that's really not the solution right now. I think I just have to take it as slow as it needs to be. And I have full confidence that even though right now things are feeling really tough, there'll be an upswing eventually and I'll get back to it like I have been. So I really don't know what this vlog is going to look like, how long we're going to be working on it, how much I'll actually be able to get done. But I'm just trying to be really intuitive about fitting writing into my life because at the end of the day, writing is not my job. I make no money from writing. It is a hobby at the moment. It's supposed to be fun. And I really don't want to set any expectations for myself, especially when there's other things in my life that I do want to get done as well. Sometimes writing doesn't get the priority, and this might be one of those times. So the goal is to get back into writing. I've taken a few days off where I can just mellow out and not think about it and rest and scroll on my phone, let my brain rot. And that really helps with the burnout aspect of just like feeling overwhelmed in all places in life. I just need to take it easy. I've often found that when I'm in a state of burnout, if I try too hard to just push myself to actually doing stuff, I end up procrastinating longer because I'm just overthinking it. I also spend so much time contemplating just how much I don't want to do something. And then I end up just wasting so much time where if I'd taken that time to just rest and recover, I can get back to actually writing and enjoying it a lot faster. So I've done that, and I'm starting to get a little bit of excitement to write my story again. But we're not quite there. I think I still need a few days. So I have a couple things that I can do to try and stoke that excitement without risking burnout. So the first thing is reading. So I have The Kingdom of Copper, which is the second book in the City of Brass series. I've just started it, but I've found a lot of times that when I'm reading someone else's story, especially because when you're reading someone else's story, you don't have to worry about pacing. You don't have to worry about character arcs. You don't have to worry about whether or not the chapter's working. And so being able to enjoy a story for what it is, it kind of helps me see the forest through the trees a bit more. And when I'm in the depths of a revision, sometimes I'm just so focused on every single word even when it's more of a big picture edit, that just reading a story and then really enjoying the actual plot and the characters and how everything's going really does help me. So a lot of times while I'm reading, I'll be like, oh shoot, I really want to get back to my story. I have a similar scene in my story. Oh, I can't wait to get to it or whatever. And so that's one thing I like to do, especially because when I'm in the middle of a draft, it can be really hard for me to read and find the time to do that, because a lot of times when I'm in the middle of a draft, all I want to do is focus my energy on the revision when I have that spare time instead of reading the books that I want to read. So it's a good time to do that now while I'm trying to just get back into it. The second way that I'm going to try and ease my way back into it is through journaling, because I definitely don't journal as much as I should. I've had this for so long, and you can see I've used up so few pages because I literally feel like I forget that I journal all the time. The last time was it was late January, so it's been over a month, and I feel like I've got a lot of things I can vent about. So we're going to try and get some writing done here and read, and then see how I feel from there, and hopefully I start to get my excitement back and we can get back into revising. Okay, the time has arrived. It has been almost an entire week since I've last written, and I think I'm ready to get back into it. Just a little bit. Just a little. Hear me out. I'm not ready to go back into it 100%, like working on it every single day, trying to do like a chapter every few days, because I think I still need to take it a little bit easy, but I also don't want to be away from my document for too long. The longer I take between editing, like if I take like a really long break, the harder it is to get back into it. And I feel like I build it up in my head to be this monumental task to start revising again, and it almost seems above my capabilities. And the other downside to waiting a really long time is that you lose the flow of the story, you lose where you are, you lose the character arc that got you there. And so the goal tonight is just to take it really chill. So I'm going to open my document. Maybe I'll do some sprints, maybe I won't, I don't really know. But I'm not going to be trying for a word count or a goal in any way. We're literally just going to open it and just try and have fun. Got my laptop fully charged, cup of tea, and we'll just see how it goes. I wrote for 25 minutes. I ended up doing a 25-minute sprint, and I could not have asked for it to go any better. To be honest, it actually felt really, really good, because when I kind of fizzled out with my writing last week, I was stuck on a chapter where I feel like I was just like too close to it, and I was just trying to make the characters go from like point A to point B as quickly as possible. But now I feel like I've taken a step back and I've really been able to enjoy that scene, draw it out, play up the different feelings that come into play. So I'm actually really happy with what I've done, and I want to keep writing. I want to do maybe 1 or 2 more 25-minute sprints. But we have to change something, because my back is currently hurting because I have the worst posture when I'm writing, and so I get back pain sometimes. So we're going to change that up and keep going. I think I'm gonna call it here for tonight. So I did my second 25-minute sprint, and then I was so close to the end of the chapter that I did like another like 2 or 3 minutes. But I'm gonna stop here. I'm feeling pretty tired. I am really impressed with how much I've been able to accomplish, even without setting any expectations for myself. I thought I would be at the end of the chapter a lot sooner, because when I'm editing in this stage, I have like the first draft and the second draft up beside each other, and I'll copy paste over some chunks. And I thought I'd reach the end of the chapter, because I'd reached the end of this chunk that was in there, but I hadn't copy pasted the entire chapter, so that's why it took like another 15 minutes to actually get there. I'm a little nervous that maybe I might have pushed a bit too much tonight, but I had a great time just writing this evening. I got a lot done today at work, so I think that helped kind of like have that peace of mind that I just like didn't have to focus on all these things for the evening and I could just work on my story. So it is now the next morning, and I have to say, I'm really excited to keep revising my book. Like where I left it, the next chapter has some tense moments that are going to happen, so I feel like I just want to get into it. So I'll probably get some more writing done today. It's crazy. I really thought it would take a lot longer for me to start feeling better. Like it's been, a week at this point. But I think too, I've had a lot of moments of burnout throughout my life. Like I'm one of those types of people to keep adding stuff to like this imaginary to-do list until I do get burnt out or in some other way I have to stop. Over the years, luckily, I think I've been getting better at being able to identify when that's happening and kind of taking a step back and not letting it progress too far before trying to do something about it. Because too, like I think it's important to point out that this like burnout that I'm feeling is not from the writing itself, but the writing is being affected, right? So taking that week off, allowing myself to kind of slow down, process a lot of things that have happened recently, try and get some work done that has been hanging over my head. And by doing those other things in other places in my life, I feel a lot better with the writing. I can focus on the writing and kind of get back to it. I think I'm still gonna take it without expectation because we still have quite a lot of book left to go. So I think the goal is just gonna be to try and enjoy the process, to try and work on it when I feel like it. And, I do have a very long-term deadline of trying to get the book in its final stages by August, which is like 5 months away. But I don't want to rush anything and not enjoy it. So we're gonna just see where we end up. If it takes another month, if it takes 2 months to get to this end of the second draft, then that's what it's gonna take. If you've made it this far, thanks for sticking through it with me, and hopefully moving forward, I'm gonna have a lot more excitement for the writing process and I'm not gonna be overthinking all of these things. So I'll catch you in the next video.